always say in this motherfucker. Yeah. I'ma just step my gang until the day that I die. Making a whole lot of money, it ain't no way that I can stop. Niggas be hating on me, I'm about to take it to the top. His bitch probably choosing a nigga, but I am not that kind of guy. Pull up V8, eat on that pussy like cheesecake. Beat on that bitch like an M8. I am the master, no sensei. Flipping the pack on a good day. She close to my heart, she a headache. Lil' mama trying to get me hundreds in them 50s, trying to show me titties. How about show some love? How about turn up with me? I just be spending my time thinking about how I'm gonna get it.
It's your boy Smooth Millions, man. Back at you with another one, man. We Vibe Entertainment Studios. I got a special guest from Over the Ropes podcast, y'all. He go by the name of OTR TRE, and I'm gonna go ahead and bring him on out.
What's good, bro?
I already know it, man. Alright, so Trey,
Yeah.
talk to me about your podcast, man. Let these people know where you're from, man.
All right. So, podcast is Over the Ropes Wrestling Podcast. We been doing it since 2020. All based in Charlotte. I'm not from Charlotte, but I'm based in Charlotte.
Where you from?
Born in Houston. Moved to Raleigh, North Carolina at 9 years old.
Where?
And then, like 2010, moved to Charlotte.
Okay.
And actually met both of my co-hosts when we used to work at Target together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
That's how I initially met them.
Sure.
And then years later, we went to the Clash of the Champions WWE pay-per-view
Right.
when it was in Charlotte at the Spectrum Center.
Okay.
And after that, we decided to get together and was like, yo, we should start a pod.
Right.
So we probably did that probably about a few weeks later. We got the ideas, and then from there we just started just making shows.
Right.
Yeah.
What was y'all like main like motivation to do it? For
Just being fans of wrestling.
Right.
We realized that we talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
So
Smart man, huh?
and we were some of the only people at the time that we knew that consistently talked about it. And got hyped about the shows and
Right.
everything like that. So we were just like, let's just start a pod, because they had brought it up to me,
Yeah.
and I don't know if they thought I was serious or not. So they brought it up to me, and then I texted them. I was like, yo, man, we gotta start the pod. I think it was like a Monday Night Raw or something. Something crazy that just happened, and I was like, man, we gotta start the pod. And then so I do it with two people. My boy JD and my boy Jay. For those that watch the pod, that's OTR Rant and Jay and OTR Mic Drop.
Yeah, okay.
So that's them.
Yeah.
And then JD, he was like, "Oh, Trey, you serious?" I was like, "Yeah." So after that, we started getting things in motion, and yeah,
That's what's up.
met up at a Carolina Ale House to try to figure out the name, because we didn't know what the name was going to be.
Okay.
So
Y'all figured that shit out though.
yeah, we went through like 10 names.
Yeah.
Like, I know we tried to call it like 3 count. we tried to call it like
Wrestling shit.
yeah, we were trying to have it wrestling based.
Right. Okay.
And I forgot. I honestly can't remember which one of them said Over the Ropes. I think it might have been JD. I can't remember. But yeah.
I know they got some wrestling or something like that called Over the Top.
Yeah, there's one called Inside the Ropes, and then there's another one called Over the Top,
Right.
or something like that.
Okay.
But we made sure we went through and made sure nobody had the name.
Yeah.
So
who's your favorite wrestler?
my favorite wrestler of all time is Sting, but the Crow version of Sting.
Wow.
So that's the one with the white paint with the black lines.
Yeah.
He's my favorite because, so I'm 35. I started watching wrestling around 97, 98.
Right.
And so that would have made me like, what, 7?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah.
So I cut it on, and he was fighting the NWO.
Yeah.
So I like them, but I liked him because he was going against them.
Right.
And then I just liked his theme music. He came out with the trench coat with the bat.
Yeah.
And he wasn't talking. This was Sting wasn't talking.
Right.
So I was just like, okay, this is dope. So I've been with him. That's when he became my favorite wrestler.
Right.
And then because of nostalgia, he has stayed there. Right. He recently just retired.
Okay.
I tried to go to the event because he's with AEW or was with them, and they had a show in Greensboro.
Yeah.
And I wanted to go so bad, but couldn't make it out there. But it was his retirement match.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, I don't even have like a main favorite. I got like a top 5. Like,
yeah, I got a top 5, but if you want to know who my favorite is him. But I got a top 5.
What's your top 5?
Sting.
Right. First.
The Rock.
Rock. Okay.
Roman. Roman Reigns.
Oh, Reigns.
Roman Reigns.
Okay.
And then 2 more would be Scott Hall.
Damn.
Yeah, I love Scott Hall.
I don't even know who that is.
R.I.P. He was in the original NWO.
Oh, okay. That's before my time.
And then the 5th one, if I had to throw a 5th one, it would probably end up being. It used to be Goldberg, but it's not Goldberg anymore. Probably AJ Styles right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's straight.
Yeah.
Mine would be like, let me see, Rey Mysterio.
Okay.
I like John Cena a lot.
Okay.
Ooh, Undertaker.
Yeah.
What's that kid name, man? Oh shit. Kurt Angle.
Oh, Kurt Angle?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Triple H.
Triple H, yeah. And then honorable mentions are like Undertaker and Stone Cold, Shawn Michaels.
Stone Cold too.
Like I love them growing up, but
yeah,
the guys I mentioned are the ones that I like going back to and watching. Because I got 3 current wrestlers and 2 old school. So yeah. Now I'm a wrestling historian, but my knowledge goes back so far. Like I wasn't watching like I like Ric Flair, I like Dusty Rhodes, but when I was watching them, they were old.
Right. Okay.
Like I didn't see them in their heyday. Like our parents when they was in the 70s and 80s going crazy.
That's what I'm saying. A lot of the people you mentioned like are old to me now because like I was young. I was like just now being born around that time, like 97, 98.
Yeah. The fact you said you don't know who Scott Hall is, I was like, oh, okay.
that gave my age away right there. Like I ain't even before my time.
Used to be called Razor Ramon.
Yeah, see, I wouldn't even know.
Fun fact: the day that I went to that pay-per-view and we discussed doing the pod, I was wearing a Razor Ramon shirt.
Yeah. That boy, hey, you're a real fan, man.
No, yeah.
So, were there any like setbacks or challenges that you had to face during your journey doing this podcast stuff?
Yeah, didn't have a lot of money when we first started, so cheap equipment.
Right.
So you know how that goes.
Yeah.
People's schedules.
Yeah.
And then figuring out how to promote it.
Right.
Coming up with trying not to be like every other pod. Because it's 1,000 wrestling podcasts are like anything. It's like any relationship podcast. It's like any sports podcast, like a movie review podcast. It's a shitload of them. Yeah. So you want to make yourself different, but it's only so different you can really be. Yeah, because you're talking about the same stuff.
Right.
So
okay.
And if you actually watch our any people out there that watch our show consistently, we to this day still have technical issues. Okay. Like my mic just fell off. Technical issue. Difficulties. You know I have technical issues with everything that I do.
So, what was one of the most challenging situations y'all had to face? With that being said,
I would probably say just trying to make sure we get things out on time. Because initially we started recording once a week, which we still do, but then they wanted to start doing it once every 2 weeks because they wanted to give us time to have more stuff to talk about.
Right.
But then I was like, it was kind of iffy because I felt like we were being late on stuff.
Okay.
And because wrestling is a weekly show. Yeah, like we don't cover just WWE. We cover WWE, we cover AEW, and then depending on what's happening, we cover NXT, which is still a WWE product, TNA, and New Japan.
Yeah.
Depending on what it is. And they have shows every week. So I wasn't really a fan of skipping a week.
Yeah.
Unless nothing really happened. Like if it was a boring show and no storylines were really developed,
right.
I was cool with not recording that week. Okay. But I just wanted to, because especially us starting out, you want to get as much stuff out as possible.
Right.
You don't want people to forget about you because you're not really known yet, so it's really easy to forget about you.
Yeah.
So
be consistent, right?
And then try to figure out the length of how of the time that we were going to record.
Okay.
Like 30 minutes, 45 minutes, an hour.
Yeah.
We average between 50 minutes to an hour and 5.
Right.
So
that ain't bad for no wrestling podcast.
We got a lot to talk about.
Yeah. Especially if you're covering more than one series.
And depending on what it is, we could do 2 hours just on WWE if we really wanted to.
Yeah.
It just depends on how in depth you want to get about the topics.
Yeah. So how did those challenges like shape your resilience to it? Like,
it made me realize that it wasn't as easy as I thought it was going to be.
Right.
Makes you realize that still got to put mad work in, even when you're not getting paid for it, which we're not.
Right.
We're still starting out, so not yet.
Right.
We're still starting out, so you gotta put. I feel like you gotta put in even more work when you don't have anything, because trying to get really just building up our resiliency as far as just because we've I think the most viewed video that we've gotten is like 77 views on a video.
Yeah.
It was the Bobby Lashley one where he won the championship. That was the one. So if y'all want to go check that out, add more views to it. But just not getting down about only getting like maybe 2 to 3 views on a video. Not letting that discourage you.
Right.
Because we're at 113 episodes right now. I think we average probably 15 views
right now,
which is pretty good.
Yeah.
I think
people looking at
it.
Somebody looking at
it. Yeah. So, and then depending on what it is, like our 100th episode, that's at like 40 or 43 views.
Yeah.
I've noticed that certain episodes we make a really big deal about, and those are the ones that tend to get more than when we just drop a regular episode.
Right. Okay.
So just not getting down based off of the recognition, because if you just worried about the views that you're getting, then you might end up quitting it early.
Right.
Because I've done 3-hour watch-alongs where I will put the camera on and it's just me, and I'll literally watch a show and commentate on it the whole time.
Okay.
And that's a lot of time and effort put into it, and you get like 5-6 views, and it's like, damn. But it's not wasted time because it's content that's up there that people can always go back to.
Yeah, for sure.
So
it's up there. So were there any influential people or mentors who guided you during the early stage?
Not at all.
No, it was just you and your homeboy.
Yeah, it was just us. I didn't know.
Just start a podcast.
I didn't know anybody that was doing a podcast.
Word.
If I did, I didn't ask for help. I tried to start one. I actually tried to start a podcast years earlier. It wasn't even about wrestling. I was noticing the wave. I was a big fan of like the Joe Budden podcast, the early days.
Right.
And I did watch certain wrestling podcasts and other movie review podcasts, and I was like, you know what? Me and my friends, we kind of funny.
Yeah.
Let me see what this is about.
Yeah. Check it
The
out.
thing about doing a podcast is you just got to find the right mix.
Yeah.
You got to find the right mix. You got to find the right chemistry, and everybody can't work together.
Nah.
So it's just and then you got to make sure that you're on the same page as far as how you want the channel or the pod to go.
Yeah.
It's okay to butt heads, but you don't want to butt heads every single time.
Right.
Then you never get anything done.
Yeah.
So I think the timing was perfect.
Yeah.
I found the people that I need to do it with, a topic that I could do it with. Who knows? I might end up doing another pod about something else.
Right.
Now that I have a little bit of experience in it.
Yeah, of course.
So I would say, yeah, but no mentors.
No mentors?
Yeah.
That's cool. Well, so what was your favorite childhood memories with it? Like, I know for me, when I was young, I had younger siblings.
Mm-hmm.
So when I used to have my wrestling on, I used to get either them or a pillow and practice like half of them moves on them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's mine. You know.
My sister had, I used to practice on her.
I knew it.
My younger sister. And then she had these, she would have like stuffed animals or like stuffed like players, like football players, basketball players, whatever. Yeah. I had some too. And I was just like, I'll never forget. I was in my room. I would place the dude on the bed, and then I would start in the hallway, and I would just run as fast as I could and jump as high as I could and like drop an elbow. Drop the elbow. I feel like a fall splash.
I used to go crazy. I had a bunk bed. Used to do the same thing. Just jump off like that.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of my favorite childhood memories.
So and then growing up, you know, playing the video games on 64 and PlayStation 1 and 2, like the No Mercies, the WrestleMania 2000s, the WCW versus NWO.
That's crazy.
I had WCW versus the World on PlayStation.
That's crazy.
That had the old Sting. That had the surfer version of Sting when he had the blonde flat top.
Yeah.
So.
Dang, Sting did go through like what, 3 transformations?
Yeah.
Yeah, 3. That's crazy. Damn, I'm that young though. I don't even remember Sting.
You currently watch wrestling?
White paint. Huh?
You currently watch wrestling?
Nah, man. Not as much as I used to. No, not nearly.
It's getting fun again, man. Like I took a break from wrestling. Like I graduated high school in 2007.
Yeah.
I think from like 2008 to 2014, I had stopped watching wrestling.
You did?
I just took like I kind of grew out of it a little bit. Nobody I was cool with was really watching it at the time, so I had nobody to really talk to it with. And then I don't know what happened. Just I saw that Brock Lesnar was going to fight John Cena at SummerSlam, and I was like, "Oh shit, okay,
that's crazy."
So I was like, "Let me watch that." And that's when John Cena got destroyed. So I was like, I was hyped for that.
Yeah, you were.
And then WWE had came out with, before they joined Peacock, they had the WWE Network, and my boys, they kept telling me, "Yo, Trey, man, you love wrestling. You should download the network." It took me forever to do it.
Yeah.
And I finally got down and did it. And the first pay-per-view I watched was Starrcade '97, which was Sting versus Hulk Hogan.
Right.
Not the very first thing I watched on the network when I downloaded it.
Yeah, I might get back into it, man. Like you said, it's getting back fun. I know The Rock back, like shit like that. So I might get back into it for real and check out your podcast.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Y'all make sure y'all check it out too, man. For real. So, what activities or hobbies bring you the most joy outside of your professional life?
I like being creative. So the podcast is probably like the biggest hobby that I have outside of my actual job.
Right.
But when I play 2K, any 2K or any FIFA or anything, I'm always creating teams, creating players. I just like the creation process.
Yeah.
Which is why I like doing the pod, because it's always a chance to get creative and innovative and do different things.
Different stuff.
Trying to get better at editing to really show the creativity.
Yeah.
But I used to play ball a lot, but I ain't played ball in a minute.
Right. So what do you do for work? What do you do for work?
I work at the bank.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Banker.
I'm in fraud. Yeah.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's what's up. So, how do you balance your work life and your personal interests and passions?
Just had to make time for it. Yeah. I get off at a decent time. So we normally record on a Wednesday, Thursday, or a Friday. My days off are on Wednesdays. I should have been recording today, but scheduling conflict. But just making time for it, even when I'm tired. Because the thing that motivates me is when I get on YouTube and I see other people's podcasts going on and they're live, and I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to record, I could at least edit something, or I can at least go back and look at something, maybe clip up a video and put it out if I'm not going to actually record. Or just I've started writing down different things that I want to do for it. Like, even when I'm at work, it don't take away from my job. Even when I'm at work, I'll still like just be jotting ideas down because they'll just come to me while I'm working. And I'll see if I can implement them. But that's really how I balance it. Just making time for it.
That's what's up. I mean, you gotta make time for what you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
Outside of what you do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I feel that. So, can you share a moment of triumph or success that stands out, like as an accomplishment to you?
Oh yeah, I'm glad you asked me that. So we were at this, me and Jay, Ray and Jay. Yeah. We were at an NXT event. I forgot. I think it was called No Mercy. I think they had brought it back for NXT. Yeah. I can't remember. But we were at the Spectrum Center and he had his son with him, and we went to the Chick-fil-A to get them something to eat. This guy walks up to us and he goes, "OTR, what's that?" And I said, "Oh, that's our podcast." And he's like, "Oh yeah, I listen to y'all." We're like, "Can I get a picture?" And I was like, "Oh shit, we got our first fan."
That's what's up. Nah, that's what's up for real.
I texted everybody after that. Yeah. I texted everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah, we got being recognized in person. And then he said he went back and listened to it from the beginning. Yeah. I was like, okay, he like listened to us for real. Yeah. So that's definitely by far the biggest accomplishment. We've had the page reposted by other wrestlers before. We've had, depending on like our story, like we'll tag them or something, been reposted by other personalities as far as that's in podcasting. Right. But actually meeting somebody that actually listened to our stuff and then asking for a picture, I was like, okay, that's by far the biggest accomplishment that we've had, I feel we've had.
That's a hell of an accomplishment. Having your first fan wanting a picture is crazy.
And then I'll see him, like, whenever I go to a show, I'll randomly see him, we can say it up.
Right. That's what's up. Yeah. That's what's up. I'm trying to get back to where I can, like, appreciate the fact that people do listen to me, because a lot of times people do be needing that that motivation, like seeing you do something that they might not have had the courage to do. You know what I'm saying? That's a hell of an accomplishment, man. Having somebody support you like that.
Yeah. Because it's easy to have your friends and your family support you. This is a stranger.
Exactly.
So that's what makes it even better.
It's like, what?
So and just because he noticed what I was wearing, he was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what's up. So, how did y'all come up with the name of your podcast? Like, how did that originate?
Honestly, I can't even remember. Because it's a basic name, but it took us forever to get to it.
Yeah.
It's literally called Over the Ropes.
I like it though, because it still got like the wrestling theme.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, we wanted to have something that was wrestling.
I thought you was about to say racing.
Wrestling based.
Yeah.
And they really want to come up with anything that was corny. And then we didn't want to come up with anything that we thought somebody else would have. So, like I said, we were at that Carolina Ale House, and we were just throwing names out there. I don't even know if we came up with the name there. I think we might have came out with it like when we got home.
Yeah.
And then somebody just texted it, was like, "Yo." But shout out to Mike Drop, his wife. She actually helped him, or either helped him with the logo, or she came up with the logo.
Okay.
Like this logo that's on my hat. I don't know if you got to see it. Yeah,
we'll put that up there on the screen.
So came up with that logo. We have a NWO inspired logo. So she made the shirts.
Yeah,
I made this hat. But we had she came with the shirts, and I have a hoodie. Right. So shout out to her for that.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm not really too sure. Yeah, I'm not really too sure exactly how we came up with the name. I think somebody just randomly said it. We just said that sounds all right.
Yeah, over the rope.
Yeah. And we just throwing it. We was like, all right, we can rock with that.
Yeah, that's fine.
And that would have turned into the brand.
That's fine. So, what advice would you give yourself if you could go back a few years back before you started?
I would say, make sure you have your equipment right.
Yeah.
Because honestly, everything has really worked out, I think, the way it should have. Because we're so new to it. Like, I'm enjoying everything about it, even the stuff that isn't the best.
Yeah.
Just because it's a good. I don't know how long this podcast is gonna stay around. Right. I don't know how many episodes we're gonna do.
Right.
But I'm just enjoying the journey of it right now. Yeah. And the plan, at least my plan, I'm trying to get sponsored or hired by one of these big companies.
Yeah.
Start popping up on their pre-shows, post-shows.
Yeah, they networks.
Collaborating with other content creators in the space.
Yeah.
So the one thing I will say, because I'm still doing it now, so I guess it's not even what I would give my younger self. It was the advice I give myself now is don't be afraid to reach out to people because you never know who's going to respond back.
Yeah.
And I'm still working on that now. So I have ideas to reach out to people, but I haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's taking me so long, but I'm figuring it out. Okay. But that's what I would say. So if I had to give advice to anybody, not just myself, I would just say, make sure you do it with the right people.
Right.
Don't get discouraged by if you're not seeing the results that you think you should be receiving, and don't give up on it.
Yeah.
Don't do like 5 episodes and then say, this isn't working. Unless you really think it's not working.
Right.
I mean, don't force yourself to do it.
Right.
It should be fun.
Exactly. That's a fact.
So I would say just doing that, and then just be willing to go places. Like because we're about to start doing this, start trying to travel to more independent shows, meet with wrestlers that aren't necessarily the biggest, but just get our name out there circulating in the wrestling community with the actual wrestlers. And you never know.
Yeah, you never know. That shit gonna go somewhere, man, for sure. Especially for how consistent you be and persistent. It take off in no time.
Appreciate that, bro.
But so what's one of your biggest goals with it? Like, what is the main thing you want to accomplish when it comes to your podcast?
Yeah. So like I mentioned, just possibly getting noticed by a WWE or an AEW, or even it could even be a smaller wrestling group. Right. The main thing is to work for one of the big ones, of course.
Yeah.
And when I say work for them, I don't mean like I gotta travel to Connecticut to live there. Yeah. But just someone that if they have like a special that they want to conduct, or specific interviews, or if they want us to ask certain questions at the press conferences after the shows, just being involved in that networking process. Okay. I want to get involved. I want to get in that.
I think I want to get in that vision, man.
Yeah.
OTR TRE, man. That's crazy. Over the ropes. Is there anybody else you want to shout out?
Again, shout out to my co-hosts, OTR Mike Drop, OTR Rant and Jay.
Word.
Yeah, that's really it. It's just us 3. Check us out on our YouTube channel, Over the Ropes Wrestling Podcast. Check out our IG, same name, TikTok. And then we're on Spotify, we're on Apple iTunes podcast. Just check all that out. Follow us, subscribe to us, tell people about us, and we'll make sure to keep putting out good content for y'all.
For OTR TRE, y'all, from Over the Ropes podcast, man. Thank y'all for tuning in with We Vibe Entertainment. Make sure y'all subscribe to the channel, follow my man Trey, and man, we're gonna get back at you. One.